What happened?
Did it say we're live?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
All right. We are live. We had a little technical difficulties there, folks.
Glitch.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for checking in. Let's get into it. Let's just get into it because we know everybody knows what we're going to talk about. If there's on Mars, start.
So they got rules. They got rules. Like he has a rule. The bass player, he got a rule. He got to wax his head every morning. That's a rule. He follows the rules, man. He follows the rules. Oh, these are jokes. Come on. See, you got too into the characters and got hurt.
All right, it's Wil Smith telling jokes about somebody's bald head.
The one thing we have to take away from this Wil Smith slapping Chris Rock episode is that you have to stick with the reality and the facts. Stop saying, oh, would Wil Smith have smacked The Rock or Ricky Gervais or another person of non-color at the Oscars? The point is, the facts are he smacked Chris Rock. It was unacceptable in a setting in which we have been bickering about, the upper class to let us in to have a seat at the table. And less than 2 handfuls of people are at the table and turned it into the goddamn BET/Source Awards. And let's be real, Jada Pinkett Smith, she is not exactly a high-class woman. She's a hood rat. These are facts. She's ghetto. So Wil Smith needs to stop being all stoogey because all he is a carpet. He is a rug, and she has stepped on him for the existence of their marriage, and he lashed out on the wrong man. Wil Smith is not a real man. Facts.
Chris Rock, you had no right to try to make a black woman the butt of a joke for white people. I'm sick and tired of black people trying to make each other look ridiculous so white people can have a laugh. I'm sick and tired of black people trying to insult each other in front of white. Wil Smith and what he did was one of the most powerful examples of black manhood we've seen in recent years. When is the last time we seen somebody get the shit smacked out of them on international television for disrespecting a black woman? I don't give a damn about what Jada Pinkett does or doesn't do in her marriage. It ain't none of your business. That's between her and her husband. Now, mind your damn business. Wil Smith is a married man. Jada Pinkett Smith is a married woman. Chris Rock had no right to try to make that man's wife the butt of a joke to entertain white folks. That's where I'm coming from today. I am glad that white America saw a black man stand up for his woman in public. I wish it wasn't Chris Rock because I respect him. I'll be damned if anybody gonna tell a black man that he ain't got a right to defend his woman wherever, however, and when.
Show's over.
You changed my mind.
Mic drop.
Woo.
Magic Johnson on Wil Smith and Chris Rock.
What happened the other night wasn't about just Will and Chris Rock. It was about all of us as black people and black men. So now they look at all of us. And that's why I didn't like that.
Was he a reverend now? Was he at
We
church?
needed more. We needed more from that.
Yeah, because that sounds like
Was he at church? It sounded like he was at church.
I have no idea.
probably so.
Reverend Magic
The
Johnson.
church is always where they'll make you do whatever.
Today, I don't give 2 craps what people feel about this bald head of mine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, apparently she don't care. Okay.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless. en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million.
Wow.
The only reason people are talking about Will Smith is because he fit the narrative of the angry black man. Nobody said anything when it was Kid Rock and Tommy Lee, or Vince Neil and Izzy Stradlin. Nobody said a goddamn thing. Chris Rock deserved to be smacked. Should Will have smacked him at the Oscars? No. Should he have smacked him? Yes. But nobody was saying anything like that when white rock stars were punching each other out at award shows. And Chris Rock skimmed that room and not dare make a joke about one of those prominent white folks in there. He just chose what he thought was an easy target, a black woman, to make a joke about. And that shit's lame. And this has nothing to do with August. I don't know why people are even trying to tie that into it. Will even said that she didn't cheat, and he was out doing his thing too, so I'm not sure why that's even being brought up. And anybody saying that Will Smith shouldn't get his Oscar should seriously just shut the fuck up, because if these police out here can brutalize their communities and keep their pensions, then I don't want to hear a peep about Will keeping his Oscars for smacking somebody in the face. Like, fuck out of here.
Ooh. One more, and then we're gonna get it.
First and foremost, this is a real picture, y'all. This is not Photoshop. I thought it was Photoshop because I was like, ain't no way he out here smacking Chris Rock and this level of disrespect was shown to him. But supposedly this is a real photo. Anyway, let's get into this photo. Look at August Alsina with the whole fam bam doozle. Hugged up like this, sagging. Come on now. Come on now. And you smack Chris Rock. Everybody in this photo would have got smacked, Will. You should have smacked everybody in this photo. Every family trip y'all was on, line up before y'all get on this plane. Come on, Jada. You got to get yours first. Turn that little head around. Come on, man. Come on. Why you smack Chris? Chris just told a joke. Now I'm upset. I'm upset, man, because you let a lot slide to not let that slide. You know what I'm saying? A lot has slidden for that to not slide. It's slidden the word it is today, because you was letting some slidden shit slide all around that slid.
What's up, everyone? Thank you guys for checking us out here on Wednesday. And please welcome back Desi.
What's up, Des?
Desi, people are asking for Des. Here he is, folks. Here he is. We want to thank everyone for coming on and joining us today for our show. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the subscription button on your YouTube so you get notified. And please share. Kevin has got two things going here. Which one do you want me to?
I'm cut.
Okay, there you go.
On to join me.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm guessing who
get some feedback.
Yeah.
You got to mute.
There's a
radio.
Are we good?
TV.
Nothing's on.
Is that maybe?
Nothing's on.
I'll mute my.
Yeah, it's not me because nothing's on but my phone. I was on my tablet. I switched to my cell phone just now, but I cut the tablet off.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. It's Tanya.
No, she's muted.
She's muted.
You want me to mute?
Unmute myself?
Yeah, mute. Hello.
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 I can hear you.
Is it still me?
It's
Hello.
probably you or Kevin.
I think it's Carl.
Yeah, it's not me because I don't have nothing on but myself.
I don't have any.
Carl, your vibrators on.
Kevin, why don't we all put ourselves on mute except for Carl?
Can you mute?
Let's see if I can mute myself. Let's see. Okay, I mute myself.
Hello. It's gone. It's something. Yeah, when Kevin mute, it's gone. Put on Desi. Go, Desi.
Hello, hello.
All right, Tanya.
Hello.
Pam.
Hello.
Okay. Kev.
Hey. Hi.
Hello.
It's yours, Kev.
It's me. All right, I'll get back on my tablet then.
Okay.
I'll get the light skinned guy messing up. All right, I'll get back on the tablet. I'll get back on the tablet. All right.
All right.
But you got a dimple. It's okay.
Don't make me slap you.
He's joking.
Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties, as you can see there, folks. Thank you to everyone. I see you, Carolyn Hargity. I hope I got your name right, brother. Norman Staley. We got a bunch of people already in the house. Anyway, let's get it. So we're talking about, obviously, the Will Smith, Chris Rock, as some people say, the Source Awards, it looked like. I think is that like a rap award show? I've never seen
I don't think that's fair. Maybe accurate, but I don't think that's fair.
But of course, some people are on Will's side. Some people are on Chris Rock's side. Me as a comedian, I'm on Chris Rock's side. He went for a joke that he thought was funny. We've all been there, when something pops in your head. Kevin, you got two going. Which one do you want?
I just cut the other one off.
Oh,
I'm right.
No, I'll take it out.
All right, thanks. All right.
Yeah, me as a comedian, I just thought, I've been on stage many times, and you think something is funny, or you see someone in the audience, you see something, you think, hey, this is going to be funny, this is going to be great. Boom, you say it, and it falls flat. Sometimes you're on stage, you're thinking of something, whether or not it's funny, this is not going to be funny, but I'll throw it out anyway. You throw it out, and it kills. I really don't think Chris Rock had any intent. I don't think he knew she had alopecia. A lot of people say he did know. And even if he didn't know, I don't think that he would have done that joke if he knew. Because no comedian goes on stage to hurt, upset, or we want laughs. That's where the love comes from. And any comedian can tell you when you're on stage and the laughs are coming, it's like love. I know people think they're just laughing, but you feel so loved when you're up there and people are laughing. So no comedian has ever walked on stage and go, man, watch me tonight. I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings. No, but that's just my opinion. We all have different opinions because we had a slight discussion early in the week, and we all have variations.
I was thinking, Carl, that if Don Rickles was hosting the Oscars,
yeah,
and he saw Jada sitting there, and he would have went off on her. That's who he is. Nobody's safe when he's on stage, right? So he would have said something about her head, probably. I'm just speculating, but being a huge Don Rickles fan, I know that he takes advantage of every moment to go for the cutthroat laughter, because that's what he does, So if he sees a woman in the audience with a bald head, she's not gonna make it through the night without him bringing it up,
Right.
And neither would I. I'm that same type of comic, If I see a woman in the audience, I'm gonna, now because of the cancer thing, a lot of people have their heads, shaved because of cancer, or they're not shaved, they lost their hair because of cancer. So I guess you have to be a little bit more careful when you see a person, that doesn't have any hair, a woman or a guy, because you don't know if they're, battling cancer or something like that. So, But yeah, I mean, back in the day, Don Rickles would have probably did the same thing Chris Rock did, and probably would have been a little bit more, bolder with it too.
Yeah. So somebody from YouTube said Don is dead. Let him rest. I mean, Kevin's just making a point.
I'm making a point about his style of comedy. That's all.
Yeah.
He was.
And plus, Chris Rock is in that vein too. Chris Rock this isn't the first person or joke that he's made about people. That's part of his charm or what people like about it.
Yeah, it's what he does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's comics who do that. I mean, Chris, that's not his whole style, but he does do. We know comics that spend a lot of time in the audience on people. That's why people come to comedy clubs and they say, "Don't sit me in the front row."
Yeah,
I don't want to sit in the front row. This comedian will pick on me.
Right.
Stuff like that. I mean, that's the reputation you have when you go to a comedy club. All I was saying is Don Rickles made a living as an insult comic.
Right.
Chris Rock's not an insult comic. Just because you pick on people don't make you an insult comic. But there are comedians who make their living as insult comics.
Yeah.
So that's what I was stating about Don
Rickles. Let me get something out. And I don't think when people say this, I know they're not comedians, but when like this girl or guy, I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I'm not sure, but Japaya, that's how I pronounce it, from YouTube, said Chris Rock disrespected them before. It's not like this is the first time. Then he also said, or she also said, I'm sorry, I don't know your gender. I don't think a white man would have disrespected a black woman's wife like that. Only a black man would disrespect a black man like that. Comedy is not about disrespect. Jesus Christ, really? I mean, it is not. No comedian leaves home to go out and disrespect anyone.
Exactly.
Every comedian in the world is hoping people would laugh
and love them.
That's it. It's not about disrespect. And I hear people using terms like he attacked. He did not. Comedians don't attack people. You say stuff hoping it's funny. So and people who are not comedians are the people who are talking about he attacked her or he disrespected her. He thought, hey, this is going to be funny, and he said it. So I really don't see it as a disrespect thing. Maybe the joke didn't work as well. Obviously, it didn't work as well as he thought it would, but there was nothing there for me, in my opinion. And I'm speaking as a comedian. I have never been in a room where comedians talk, man, I'm going to disrespect some people tonight.
Hey, Carl.
You really disrespected that crowd tonight? No. Go ahead.
We discussed this earlier, Carl. I think I told you the story. There's two stories. I'll make them real quickly. One, I had a guy in the front row at a comedy club, and he was wearing sunshades.
God, that's the worst.
And I picked on him because I thought he just tried to be cool. He's sitting there in a nice suit, nice hat, and I thought he's just being cool. So I wrote him the whole show, called him everything, pimp, all sorts of stuff. I went after him, kind of found out at the end of the night he was blind.
He's blind.
Nobody told me. Nobody at the table told me he was blind, but he was cool with it, and they were cool with it. That could have been an ugly situation, but they were all cool with it, but they didn't know. And then I had another incident. I shared this with you earlier, Carl, where I was on stage. There was an interracial couple in the front row, black guy, white girl. And I kept calling the guy OJ throughout my show, And, I kept referring him to OJ. Now the crowd, I'm in a comedy club, about 300
That's
people.
an awkward first date.
They were loving it, even the black guy that was calling OJ was laughing. But the girl got up at one point, took a pitcher of beer and threw it at me. Yeah. And the beer went all over my suit. Drenched me, and she was pissed. She was angry about me calling him OJ. So I've been attacked on stage. That's an attack. Somebody get up and throw a pitcher of beer at you. But she got escorted out of the club. And I don't know where she went. He stayed and watched the rest of the show.
I did a show one time with a bunch of bikers. So I was just talking to the crowd work. What kind of bike do you ride? What do you have? So I walked to one guy, I go, what kind of bike do you have? He goes, oh, I don't have a bike. I was really because they're bikers. They're wearing their jackets and everything. I was like, what kind of wimp are you? You don't have a bike? What do you ride on the back? You hold on and all this stuff. He held up his leg and he didn't have a foot from his mid calf all the way down.
Oh, no.
And my mouth dropped open, and then I said some awkward joke like, "Oh, I can understand that." But after the show, we're all friends because he knew I wasn't trying to. I was just joking, like, that's joking.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I know you got a whole, but comedians are brought in for a reason. We're brought in to balance the energy. You have all these celebrities, the Hollywood elite, and they're giving each other awards for all the crap that they do. So they bring in a comedian to kind of balance the energy of the room and bring everybody back down to earth. And that's what Chris Rock was doing.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have we all done shows, right? And people come up to you and go, "That's my friend in that shirt. Pick on him. I want you to pick on him. That's my, you know what I mean? Pick on that person." And they point people out they want you to pick on. You know what I mean? I was telling Kev, I did a show one time and there was a group of kids with Down syndrome right in front of me, right sitting in the crowd. And I ignored them the whole time because I was thinking of shit to say. And I'm like, no, I said, I can't say if it's gonna go, how it's gonna go. So let me just leave that alone. After the show, they all came up to me and go, "Why you pick on us? We want you to pick on us. Because they wanted to feel like part of the show."
Right.
Tanya, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, is it really me? I'm the double echo. Oh no. It's not. Put it this way. I agree with Dr. Johnson. For one reason, because, and I just had to, this is just my opinion, it means nothing, but I just don't think that if what's her name, there was a young lady, Kylie Minogue or something, who had an issue. There's some people that had some health problems in Hollywood, let's just say, no matter what they were, right? And you've seen the comics before, everybody knows about it, and it was more empathetic and sympathetic about whatever that was that they had going on. And so I just felt like I had to think, like, if that was Angela Jolie, which she did have a thing going on too, which is more serious. I'll be honest to say it's more serious, alopecia over cancer, let's say, right? That's fine. But would they have teased her the same exact way? And I can't explain it, but I just get a feeling like it wouldn't happen. And I could be totally wrong. I mean, we won't know for the next 5 years if he could host again. And then there's other people sitting in front. And if he does it again, I'll be like, oh, he would have did it with anybody. But I just feel like if it was Meryl Streep or if it was anybody else, I just don't think he would have done it. And I thought I read in a thread, there was a thread on Twitter and somewhere else I read it, where they said that he actually was asked not to do the joke. But someone else said, no, that's not true. And I was like, no, I saw it in a thread. And it was what's the director's name that was doing the whole thing?
Will Packard.
Okay, Will Packard and some other people were on this thread. And I don't know if I have to go back and see to make sure it was really an official that said that. But they said he was asked not to do it and he chose to do it. So if that was the case, and I'm like, why would you do a joke if they asked you not to do it? But you're a comic, like Carl said. So it's a catch-22. But I just feel, and I, again, could be wrong, that it was just, okay, I can get away with this because she's a black girl. That's how I felt.
You're right, Tanya.
You're wrong.
You're right. I agree.
Let me say this real quickly. You're right, Tanya. But
that doesn't justify it.
We're gonna go to Pam after Kevin.
Jim Carrey hosting the show, for example.
Oh.
If Jim Carrey was the host, he would feel comfortable making fun of Meryl Streep. You know what I'm saying? Okay. He would feel comfortable making fun of Madonna.
Yeah, but with the health issue?
Well, maybe Chris didn't know about the health issue is what I'm saying.
I think he did. How could you? If I knew about it, I don't even watch television. He had to know.
I didn't know about it.
You didn't know about it, but most comics that are in his position
for a movie role, actually. Now here's the scuttlebutt that's going on. I don't know if you guys heard this, but this is just breaking. I lost my train of thought. But this is
breaking news.
Will and Jada Pinkett Smith called Chris Rock a few weeks ago and asked him. They were trying to boycott the Oscars.
Again?
Yes. Jada Pinkett was calling for a boycott of the Oscars.
Oh,
this time or
2016?
This time.
Yes.
For what now?
I just heard this like 3 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
On talk radio. from a reliable source, actually. So
From where? But for what reason?
well, and she asked Chris not to host it, and Chris said to Jada, a black man hosting, what else do you want? You got a black man hosting the Oscars. Isn't that a sign of progress? So they were already at odds to begin with. And then he comes out and makes a joke on her. And that's why she rolled her eyes, because they've already had this. You can Google this. I mean, this will come out.
So this is the second time she wanted him to boycott the Oscars.
On this particular episode, I mean, this upcoming Oscars, Jada Pinkett Smith was trying to ask him not to host the show.
They didn't come out with that yet.
And his reaction to that was, well, black man hosting the Oscars, you know, and
not only hosting,
but he wasn't hosting anyway. It was.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That still doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, with Wanda Sykes and yeah. So I mean, he's still. But yeah, you read, it'll come out and Google it and make sure what I'm saying is accurate. I wouldn't have brought it up if it wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't put it out yet, Kev. It's not out yet.
So it's we'll find this out in the next couple of days.
I mean, personally, I think it was about the Buzz haircut. She had a short haircut, and he thought short haircut, G.I. Jane. That's where the joke is. I don't care.
No, there's a history there. They have a history already going on. There's been a history of them. Jada Pinkett Smith and Chris Rock have a history of going back and forth. I don't know where it started or how it started. I'm not an expert on these two people, but they have a history already that was brewing. This is just not something that just happened spontaneous where he came out, said something about her hair, and then Will Smith snapped. There's been a history between them, period. And then with all the other stuff going on, you know, Will and Jada in their public life, you know, I mean, we learned a lot from their public life because they put it out there, you know, in these shows. And now, you know, the red table and all that stuff, and everybody's into their life and knows what's going on, you know. But yeah, it'll come out. I mean, what I just said, I heard from somebody that I trust today that they
Pamela Jones said she heard that joke he did wasn't a joke that was written, it was ad lib. And to me, it seemed like something that you know what I mean, you look to a crowd as a comic, and you know that would just, you know, come off the top of your head. But I really don't see it as an attack or as disrespect, or he was trying to disrespect, unless, like Kevin is saying, there's something there that we don't know about, something private.
Alopecia is not something to be making fun of.
He did not know she had alopecia. He did not know.
Who says he didn't know? Who says he didn't know?
He said he didn't know.
There's a lot going on with that whole thing.
Yeah, there's more than I can even read into.
Can we stop with black people stop saying that this set black people back crap? That just drives me nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, it's not setting me back. I don't know what they're talking.
Anybody back?
And congratulations to Samuel Jackson. That's the real truth tonight.
I mean, white people that don't like black people, I mean, gonna use excuses anyway. You know, people over at Fox News will use excuses anyway. I mean, you know, we hear Chicago all the time. So just saying a black on black violence, you know, and they trying to blow this up and make this like black people are just, you know, when we're watching people, white men with planes drop bombs on kids and pregnant women in Ukraine.
I mean, keep it real. If we looked at all the mafia movies, we'd say, what about what crime? Right, exactly. So that's not, it doesn't even fly. It doesn't even fly right. Because we already know that the percentage of us to everybody else is not equal. So
all right, Pam, you want to jump in? Then we're gonna go to Des.
To be honest with you, I am so tired of this topic right now because I have spewed so much about this, my perception of it.
That's why
as a non-comic,
you are a comic.
I did not think that anything was wrong with the joke. If he had come up there and he had said, hey Patches, or you know, something like that directly at her, the ailment, I would, and maybe he did. I don't know if he knew about it or not, but because Jada has been so outspoken about it, because there is a tape, there's a clip that she did where she's like, I don't care what anybody thinks or says about me. I love my hair, and she was rocking it. I can see, like you guys were talking about, he looked out in the crowd. He's like, hey, you know, G.I. Jane. I thought it was funny. I did not see the hurt in it. What I think is, like people have been saying, there's a lot of history with them. And Jada holds a grudge. And I think that Will, personally, when he saw that she was not having it, he said, shit, now I got to go and do something. If not, I'm going to hear it from her for the next 5 years. So he got up there and he acted the fool. And I don't think that was about Black love. I don't think that was about him protecting his woman in the truest sense of this man wanting to protect his woman. I think it was just he needed to because home was going to be a miserable mess if she didn't see what she, as far as her Baltimore roots are concerned, him taking up for her.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm sorry, that's it.
Anybody on the panel read, real quickly, anybody on the panel read Will Smith's book?
No.
Yeah, I have.
No, but I've heard
so you understand, Des, what he went through as a young man?
Yes.
Yes, with his mother's abuse, being abused by the father and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And I could see, look, if somebody had pushed her, if somebody had whatever had been physical with her, but I don't, in my personal opinion, the way he responded initially, the way she did, that whole, I wish, unfortunately, we didn't see the camera stay on them throughout the whole thing to see if there was any further exchange. But I think there's a lot of layers to it. I think that because they have exposed themselves, you know, this is our society right now feels as though that they should open up every nook and cranny of their lives to people, but then they want to turn around and say, but don't judge me, don't say anything about me. You can't have it both ways. I heard at one point he said, you know, you can make fun about me and everything else, but this is my wife. And he said, because he's a public figure. She is also a public figure. She is a star. So if you can be open to that, why is it that, oh, but she no one, you can't touch her. You can't say anything about her. And I honestly don't believe, I personally, I was not offended. I am not as sensitive as most people. Some people are, and that's fine. But it was inappropriate what he did, bottom line.
Yeah. Pamela Jones said, I don't want to read his book now. Yeah, I am not a Will Smith fan after what I saw last night. I don't think he can write me a check for $1 million right now. I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
That's kind of harsh, though, man. I mean, I don't know.
You judge a person by the one.
I said every week on this show, man. We're too hard on each other, man.
Yeah.
The dude is a human being at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Why do we want him to be perfect? Like, we act like, and excuse my language, this really makes me angry. People that watch this show, and I don't know everybody that watches on YouTube or people that watches on Facebook, whatever. I appreciate you watching the show, but let's not act like we never fucked up in our life somewhere. I just want to leave it at that. It just bothers me.
You know, if this were two 20-something-year-old men that, you know, and they're still trying to figure themselves out. But you're 50-something. Come on.
But we can't relate to that, though. This guy is, yeah, you're right. This guy is 50-something years old, 53 years old to be exact. But he's also been a multimillionaire since he was in his 20s.
Yeah, it's true.
Most people could not relate to that lifestyle of being a multimillionaire since you were 22 years old and living this life and being in Hollywood and dealing with the pressure of Hollywood, dealing with your life being
living up to a certain standard.
Yeah, he's had to be this clean-cut guy all his life, you know. He even gets picked on for being clean-cut.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right, we got to give Desi some time.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay, well, I have 4 different points. Number one thing we got to all consider. Number one, this is I always talk about the great things that Black people have done. We are scientists. We are mathematicians. We've done a lot. We invented a lot. We have contributed greatly to society. But the one thing that I'm going to give to the dominant society is the whole construct of Hollywood. They created the whole thing, and it's a brilliant kind of concept in that it it makes you not question anything that comes out of the movies. And now we believe that like white guys can fly, and they've done some wonderful things. But we got to understand that Hollywood specifically only rewards us for unproductive behavior. You go back to Hattie McDonald, she got she got an award for playing a maid. We had Monique, she was in Precious, a totally dysfunctional, incestuous relationship. Denzel, who's done great movies. Malcolm X would just bring you to tears. He got an award for Training Day, where he's a dysfunctional cop. Halle Berry played a Jezebel in Monsters Ball. She got an award. So Hollywood is number one thing for the dominant society is a propaganda machine. And so we have to understand that. I agree with Kevin 100%. I agree with anyone who says we should not be concerned with the dominant society and how they view us, because we saw from January 6th that what's good today is bad tomorrow, and then is good again the next day. They can storm the Capitol, threaten to hang the vice president of their own party, and then the next day that it's all good. So we got to consider, we can't really let them into our lexicon. Now I'll go over to point number 2. I'll go over Jada. Jada, she has this thing like where it's like mind your business, and Jada has put everything out on the red carpet, and that's fine if she wants to do that. She is a celebrity, and that's part of the process. I do agree with brother Umar Johnson in that us, when we talk to each other and when we talk to the dominant society, we should try to be as polite, and specifically us, be as polite, kind, caring supporters as possible. Because like the movie Chris Rock was in, Man, We All We Got, CMB. Let's talk about, though, Jada. Let me ask, this is a rhetorical question. Should a man protect and provide for a woman that does not respect or submit to her man?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's something to think about. I'm just going on. Let's go to I'll go to Will Smith. Let me just go to Will Smith, and then we'll go back in. Will Smith, I read his book. I loved Will Smith. I like his persona. I like him as a person, but he let a lot of insights out in his book, specifically that he's always been feared to be a coward, and he's actually going to therapy about it. And I feel sorry for him, but at the same time, I don't know if he could be my friend, only because I don't like having people around me that are so easily influenced and so easily made to do things. He obviously was laughing. He enjoyed the joke. Even if he didn't like the joke, he knew that this is Hollywood. We got to smile because that's
and it was his night.
Game. And it was his night. And then he saw Jada was upset, and he got the battery in his back. I don't agree with that. I mean, anybody on this set, anybody in my life, they know that if I have a problem with you, I pull you to the side. I talk to you like a man. Hey, I have a problem. This is not good. I don't like what you did, and we'll work it out.
I'm glad somebody wrote something. Somebody cracking up.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. Then we got Chris Rock. I feel so sorry for him. He also had trauma. He's talked about when he was in high school one time, he got beat up so bad that he took a brick, put it in a book bag, and swung it and hit back at a kid. And the kid ended up in the hospital and almost died. When Chris Rock went to therapy, he decided that he's not going to give into that fear or that feeling of being bullied, and he's not going to hit back because he knows what the consequences are. So I give Chris Rock props. I could not have been Chris Rock. I can't believe he's from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. And we were always taught if someone hits you, you hit back.
Hit them back.
And it doesn't matter
Don't
if they can beat you or not. If you're gonna lose, it doesn't matter. You go.
But you got to take a swing.
I have kids just like Chris Rock has kids. I don't know how he is rationalizing it, but I know that I would be afraid to face my kids the next day, knowing that I let somebody.
Embarrassing.
Yes.
You know what?
Why?
I'd rather be beat up.
Des, if that smack happened backstage, it probably would have been a different reaction. He might have swung back. But this happened on the cameras, and he took the high road because let's say he did swing back at at Will Smith. This incident would have been even worse.
Yeah.
And now it went from that smack to a brawl.
And just to circle back to you, Kevin, if we are really concerned about what the dominant society thinks of us, think of what a shining example Chris Rock showed to actually get smacked in the face and keep his composure and keep his cool, because he didn't even say anything. You saw him say, "Well, I could," and then he
stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
He acted like a Quaker. He did a good job. He's turned out.
I understand. I think that I'm just going to talk for me. I'm going to do a better job of respecting specifically Black women and not go for certain jokes because it's sensitive. It's a sensitive subject. And I think we can tease each other, we can laugh, but there's certain things that are disrespectful. There's a guy named Neely Fuller, and his code of conduct is always deal with each other in the most. No one should out polite you. No one should out be as respectful as you. And we all have to kind of try to do that so that we can get out of this system of white supremacy.
But can I ask a question though? Did anybody see what Chris was doing leading up to that joke? Because he was going at other people. He had a joke with Denzel. He had one with Penelope Cruz and her husband. And someone could say that, he was disrespecting him too. I just think that it seems like everybody wants to be handled with kid gloves. And in a comic setting, you have to expect a certain amount of heckling. And I didn't think that, and I guess maybe it's because I did not see his joke as being disparaging to her. I thought that Jane is a strong woman. She looked like the shave thing with Demi. And he was like, you ready for your next badass movie?
You guys think that because, and let's be honest, America was founded on racism and Black people people kind of treat Black people with kid gloves, that has something to do with it. Like you don't really, my son went to a Catholic school early on when he first started. And I went to pick him up one day and the kids were playing dodgeball. And the nuns were telling the other white kids not to throw the ball so hard at my son. Like, it's dodgeball. But the nun was like, don't not so hard, kids, because she saw me and I'm, But when it came to the other white kids, they were whipping it like you're supposed to do in dodgeball. You're trying to knock somebody's head off. But the nun was telling the kids, not to throw so hard at my son. And I knew it was because he was Black. Right. So I think a lot of this is because Jada is a Black woman and America has not been so nice to Black people. So Black men should not be making fun of Black women, or Black people should not be, smacking each other, whatever, on national TV, because we already got enough shit to deal with. So I'm wondering if that has a little bit to do with it.
I think so.
Well, I want to say this. Someone just texted me and asked me, what will we be saying today if Will had did or said nothing?
We wouldn't. It wouldn't even register.
Nobody would be talked about.
We would be saying, "Oh, what a great award that Will Smith won."
Yeah,
I wouldn't have. I would have been like that.
Because I don't know if you guys know, like you said, it was a mediocre kind of joke. He didn't even think it was that funny afterwards. He was kind of trying to move along, and he went on to the next thing, and it would have been nothing.
But that's why I said about the history. It's more to it than just that one.
Yeah.
It's the history between those two. She doesn't like Chris Rock.
Because he always gets on her. I remember
some other things that happened in the past. And that was just the icing on the cake. And her rolling her eyes probably and looking upset probably set Will
Signal
Smith
to
off,
Will.
you know. And then Will Smith is dealing with his own demons also, right?
Right.
Remember Will Smith used to brag about not cussing in his raps?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you guys have someone in your life that no matter that doesn't like you, just purely don't like you? So you could say, hi, how you doing? Hope you have a nice day. And they curse you out or whatever. I think a little bit of that is getting factored in too. There was some past history that we just were up on.
Can I give a Reader's Digest of what I think the whole timeline is? Well, at least from 2016. He made that little snappy remark about Jada boycotting the Oscars was like him boycotting Rihanna's panties.
Right.
Now, to be honest, yeah, that he could have got a smack because that was just, that was shitty. Okay, so Jada was pissed off about that because also he did not boycott then. Okay. Jada has said, at least once I heard her say that she holds a grudge. So let's say she's still a little salty. Throughout the years, whatever Chris may have said in little jabs or whatever, it surmounted. Jada has not forgotten. Here it is. She's sitting there minding her own business. And here he comes again. Now, when that whole thing happened with Rihanna's panties, I'm thinking, may have said, Will, he said that shit and you didn't even you didn't defend me. What kind of punk ass move is that?
Right.
And if Tupac was alive, he would have got down with it.
Yeah.
So fast forward now, this situation, she rolls her eyes. He's laughing. He glimpses over and sees that she ain't too happy. They do the eye contact that husband and wives do.
Right.
And she said, nigga, if you don't get your ass up and handle this business, then you're going to have to handle me. And he was like, fuck, damn, okay. Let me get up there. Keep my wife out of
people are talking about the white people that fought. One of the clips I showed.
Yeah, they said Kid Rock and somebody else. This is probably years ago.
Was it kind of like that though? Did somebody punch somebody on live TV? Not that I can remember. I mean,
probably because I can see
Kid Rock
is kind of a rebel guy, and it might have been the Grammys, something like that, and everybody was drinking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anybody remember T.I. a couple of years ago? There was rumors that Floyd Mayweather was messing with T.I.'s wife.
Yeah.
T.I. cornered Floyd Mayweather in the Las Vegas hotel lobby and went after him. Now T.I. going after Floyd Mayweather is like me going after Tyson. But that just goes to show though, because people always go, well, Will Smith wouldn't have punched
right.
Right. Angry man will punch anybody.
Right.
Exactly.
It don't matter.
I don't think he was angry.
He wouldn't have smacked the Rock. He
was emotional. He was crying and everything.
But
he was crying after.
Yeah, he was crying after.
When he realized the shit that he was in, he was like, boo hoo, boo hoo.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't feel I think that's the thing for me. I did not sense the emotion, the anger as he went up there, smacked him, and came back down. Now, when he started saying, leave my wife's name out, okay, I felt a bit of rage there, but I think he built himself up to that. But as he got up there, because I think if he was really, really angry and he went up there to Chris, number one, it would have been a punch. And if not, it would have been a smack that Chris would have fallen his little scrawny ass down on that stage. But Chris was able to plant himself.
In our neighborhood, though, I mean, in our culture, slapping is more disrespectful than punching.
Yes.
You always heard that. I don't know. I'll slap the taste out your mouth.
Yep.
That was,
that was a pimp slap from the 70s.
So I'll bitch slap you. So I mean, that slapping has always been like
it is it's
a major thing of disrespect. So slapping a person and hitting a person, if he didn't hit him with his fist, he'd went to jail that night.
Yep.
And see, Chris Rock can take the slap and say, okay, I'm not going to press charges, and I'm gonna accept your forgiveness, and I'm talking about you on stage tomorrow night when I go in Boston in my sold out crowd tomorrow night.
So Kevin,
yes,
taking the physique of both of them, you think if Will was angry enough to call off and really put a slapping on him, you think Chris would be able to stand up to that?
he slapped him pretty hard, probably.
Same weight, same weight to me.
Oh no,
No, they're not the same weight. No,
Chris Rock's about 140.
Chris is skinny, but they're about the same height, right?
Oh no. Will's a big guy.
Let me see.
No,
I've been in the room
Chris
with both
used
of
to
them.
talk about getting picked on because he was
I've been in the room with both of them. Will's a much bigger guy. Chris is a small guy.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, very small guy.
Yeah, Chris is like 150, maybe 170.
And he's not that tall either.
No, he's not tall. He's a small guy. He's a small guy. Yeah,
I'm taller than Chris Rock.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? So now they changed the tone.
He's taller than me.
Chris Rock,
He takes a good smack. I don't know how he took that.
Me, I would have gone in on Jada after he slapped me. I was.
Yeah, we know.
The right thing for Will to do, what Will should have did is when he knew he was winning the award, he should have went on got his award and roasted Chris Rock then and there.
That's what I would have did. That's what you said, Carl. That would have been a better idea.
But he wouldn't have won that. He wouldn't have won that roast though.
Definitely not.
Will Smith can't out roast Chris Rock. Let's face
it.
But
he had the high ground. He had the moral high ground, so he could have said, you dissed my wife.
He could have walked up on that stage, put his hand on Chris's shoulder, and say, "You know what? That was the weakest."
He shouldn't have left it anyway, because comedians have done.
And that's it.
Look at Ricky Gervais. I mean, he rose. I mean, what he does.
That's what I've been saying.
Right? Yeah. And nobody left their seat.
Ricky Gervais goes deep on people.
Yeah.
Deep.
It's not for me, it's not what they do or who does
it's not the comedy, it's the black on black.
Only the part for me that she's an African-American woman that is sitting down at a stage who just made on her red table, made it well known that she pulled out a clunk of her hair and how traumatizing it was. While you're right about the other videos that said, you know what, I'm going to beat this thing and da. We all say that. If I had cancer, I'd say the same thing too. I'm going to beat this. I'm going to beat this. But that doesn't mean that Des can come on national television in front of every 5,600,000 people and say, "Yeah, Tanya, blah blah, a cancer joke." I'm like, what? Where'd that come from?
It wasn't a joke about alopecia. That's the
until I hear different. Chris Rock did not know she was suffering with alopecia. No comedian intention
in the right mind.
Yeah, I don't think he knew.
None.
All I can say is you're hosting an award show and you're not that well read that you don't know what she just said on TV and everybody else knows it. I don't even watch television and I knew about it. So I don't understand how this well-informed comedian who knows a lot about a lot of stuff would have no clue about that.
But I think Chris Rock was like, okay, because he realized that he should have maybe known more.
After he said it, he said that wasn't too bad or something like that, right? He said after the crowd did not react the way he wanted them to react, he kind of admitted, okay, it was a lame joke. It wasn't that bad. And then here comes Will walking up like, for what?
Right.
Hey, Carl.
Yeah.
I did a show in New Hampshire, a club that I think you headlined this club also. Headliners.
Yeah.
So Rob Steen, the guy who books the club, he came up to me, hey, we got a couple in the front row. They're blind. And I said, well, I can't ignore the fact that they're blind. I'm going to be on stage for an hour. I just can't act like I don't see them,
Right.
So I go on stage and I think, I'm on stage for like 5 minutes and then I start talking to them and they say, we're married. We've been married for a long time. And I go, so you guys met on a blind date, And both of them were blind.
Did they laugh?
Yeah, they laughed. And the
That's
crowd
a good
went
joke.
nuts.
That's a good joke. That's
The
not
crowd went nuts.
offensive in any way.
But
That's a
see,
good joke.
they weren't offended, and they had a great time because I included them in the show. Because I'm a very visual comic, so they really couldn't see me. My visual stuff I do on stage, they couldn't see me, but they just had a good time. I made them part of the show, and then Rob was relieved because he saw how much the crowd was laughing. He saw them laughing, so it can work both ways. I mean, sometimes as comedians, we take those chances,
right?
And go out on that limb. And every time you go out on that limb, sometimes that limb's gonna break, and you have to deal with it. That's just what we do, though. We take those chances. Chris Rock was doing nothing but being a stand-up comic.
Right. That's
And
right.
he did what he felt he had to do. I mean, his goal as a comic is not to die on international television. He has to tell jokes that are going to get a laugh. You know, his reputation.
And what's really interesting is that Chris Rock came under the camp of Eddie Murphy. He was introduced by Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy did that movie Boomerang, where there was a insult comic who Eddie Murphy ends up beating up, and who was David.
No, that was the Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor, yeah.
Nutty Professor, yeah.
He ended up throwing him in the piano, so it's kind of a full circle type thing.
But can I ask a question? I think Tanya and some other comments on there was saying, so are we saying that when we are in mixed company and there is a comedic situation going on, that we are to have kid gloves and not perform the way you would normally perform for Black women? Are we supposed to be dealing with each other with kid gloves at this point? How do you measure what we can and cannot go for?
Yeah.
For me, if you wouldn't have did it to Meryl Streep, don't do it to me.
But he wasn't doing it because it was Jada. He was doing it because he thought
that's
it was.
What everybody says. I'm telling you how I feel. It may be absolutely wrong.
He's doing it because he thought it was funny.
That's what you say. That's what everybody else says. I don't feel that.
But how do we know? How do we know he wouldn't have picked on Meryl Streep if her hair was short?
If she had a buzz haircut, anybody.
You know why? You know why? Because I've seen him host other things, and he's never gone in on someone's illness or.
But he didn't go in on the illness, Tanya. He went in on a buzz haircut.
Well, I have a question for you, Tanya.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, you said that you thought that Will Smith did the right thing by defending the honor of Jada. And I was saying,
well, I mean, that's discretionary.
Like it was strong, like he looked strong. And I thought he looked weak. I thought he looked weak.
I don't think, well, you did, and some people did, but I definitely don't think he looked weak in any way, shape, or form. I do think that I would have handled it different, probably so, because it's the awards. You know what I'm saying? There's Samuel L. Jackson didn't get no light shined on him, and Will didn't get any light shined on him because of that. So it kind of dampened the real thing. Like, wow, look at this. We got somebody directing it who's African American. We got Will Smith, even though I still was not impressed with the Oscars because I'm like, yeah, you keep recycling the same Negroes. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real. And they deserve it. I'm just saying, like, can we get this? I could think of 500 other actors in movies right now that I didn't even hear a mention of. So that's all I'm saying.
Samuel Jackson won.
Yes, he did.
So Jafia 3, I hope I'm saying him right, had a question for me. He said, Carl, would you have done that to the wife of another comedian? If I thought of something funny, if I thought it was funny,
you would have.
I would have said it.
Carl would have.
I would have said it.
Would have been that.
But if I knew she had alopecia or I knew she had some kind of illness, I would not say it. But if somebody had a buzz haircut or something that looked weird or odd, I'm going to say so. Any comedian would say,
right, because you have to address the elephant in the room. I get that.
If I know there's an illness, and I know Tanya keeps saying he knew, and this Jafia saying Chris Rock knew. And I hope I'm right. I really don't think Chris Rock knew that she had alopecia and he was going in because of her illness. I thought he was just being a comic like we all do. We just want for that funny. We want that love, which is laughter.
And along those lines, how many people have Facebook friends who you 100% disagree with politically, or like you said, if you type that in front of me, I would punch you in the face. But then that same person posts something like, "Everyone pray for my kid. He's got cancer and hopefully he'll go." Do you ignore the person? Because I know I would say prayers sent to your family. Hope he gets well, because that's who I am. I think Chris is the same way. Chris Rock is the one who brought me out. He's the one who the first big star I opened for. He liked me so much. He hooked me up to open up for Sinbad at the Oakdale. Kevin, you probably know that one. And then Sinbad sent me out to California, and I got to be the opening act, the warm-up comedian for Different World and all those shows. And Chris Rock is the one that gave me the seal of approval, told everyone, let this guy in the club. He's worked and did his work. And I know I know Chris Rock from what I've seen backstage. He's very quiet. He's a really nice person. And he made me know that it's okay to be yourself. You don't always have to be on doing jokes all the time. You could just chill and relax. And so I can vouch for Chris Rock's character. When I was in California, walked up to say hi. He said, "Hey, I'm doing a movie." He put me right in the movie. So I got to say everything I know about Chris Rock, and it's not just because it's just that I could tell he's a nice guy.
He's a stand-up
He's a
guy.
very nice guy. Now, Daryl Hughley said the same thing about Will Smith today, because he's like, he don't agree with what happened. Of course, he's a comic, so of course he doesn't agree about nobody coming on stage, hitting a comedian. But he also talks about Will Smith, giving him money way back in the day, like 20 grand or something like that, to invest in a project, when he was trying to get his break. Will Smith's one of the people that financially say, "Yo, here's some money, man. Don't worry about paying me back, whenever you can, no big deal." So these guys, both of these guys have been stand-up,
Well,
people in
you
their
can be a
lives,
good
careers.
person and do a bad thing, right?
I think going back to I think white people are going to try. I mean, I hope we don't. I hope we don't throw Will. And somebody just said they're not going to buy his book. Do we throw this guy, his whole body of work, under the bus over this one incident? As a people, do we? I don't know everybody's religion. Most people are Christians, but we don't practice that. Oh, we're Christian, but nobody forgives nobody. Like, do we just throw Will Smith under the bus because of this? And I love Chris Rock and I love Will Smith. I'm
Absolutely
big fans of both of those guys, but do we throw him under the bus and cancel him because of this incident? I say not.
No, because
I think that's just an emotional reaction as what Will Smith did. If I met Will Smith, or if I knew him, I pull him to the side and I would kind of joke about it. Well, that was messed up, but we're friends, or whatever.
But I think the thing is that, this is the Oscars. This went out to the world. This went out. People in China were like, "Oh my God, and people in Japan, and people all over. This went all over the world. This is the biggest Hollywood night, and he did it. That is the biggest stage.
That's
right?
gangster.
What's the bigger stage? But let me.
Here's the thing.
Let me ask a question. TW has a question for the panel.
Go ahead.
Question to the panel from TW, one of our favorites from YouTube. He says, when performing on stage, give an example of how you picked out a white woman and joked about how she looked, or other personal comment on her looks. WS is real. White supremacy is real, I guess.
I can answer that real quickly.
I can answer that. Go ahead, Kim.
First of all, and I told you this today, Carl, or yesterday when we talked on the phone call, I got banned from a comedy venue in the Poconos up here in Pennsylvania. New York, I think Poconos is. I got banned because I was picking on the waitress. The waitress walked by and she was a blonde chick with big boobs, and I called her Stormy Daniels. And this was a few years ago when Stormy Daniels was in the news. So I just said, "Hey, nice round of applause for Stormy Daniels waiting tables tonight, ladies and gentlemen." And they got a big laugh and applause, stuff like that. Obviously, she didn't find it funny and went and complained to the manager. And in a comedy term, I killed that night. So that means, to the layman out there watching the show, that means I kicked ass on stage, right? The crowd loved the show. Right. So I get a call from my agent the next day, and he's going, "What happened over at the Poconos?" I go, "What do you mean? I freaking killed." I ain't say freaking, you know what I said. But anyway, so he goes, "Well, they're upset. You called the waitress Stormy Daniels, and she was real upset about it." And I said, "I don't think that's it. I think there's more to it, than that." But I never got to the bottom of it. But they didn't want me back. And here is a place where I freaking kicked ass on stage. But that one little incident got me banned from a comedy club. I think it has something to do with me being black. Of course.
But also too, for her, it was an input.
I'm sorry. Let me answer TW. I can tell you 2 times that I never picked on anybody because of a black, green. If I saw something that I thought was funny, I give you 2 that I can remember. One, I was doing a show, and this white lady got up and she was going to the bathroom, and she had on this dress. It was like, it was like pretty, like all kind of colors, and she was stepping like she thought she looked so good. I go, "When you get that pretty dress, look like you were in a Christmas tree." And I just fell off laughing. I go, so then she turned around, you take that back. I go, why don't you go plug that in somewhere? Because that looks like a goddamn Second time I remember, I can remember this white lady was sitting down front, and Kevin, any comedian can relate to this, any comedian. This white lady's two huge big white boobs sitting right down front.
Oh yeah.
You're standing on stage and you're looking down. All you've seen is these two big white boobs. Just fucking, you know. So I finally, I mean, after like half an hour, I finally said, "Jesus Christ, look at those big freaking white boobs! If the lights go out, I'm following you." You got too big, you know. So that's answering your question. Comedians go for laughs, and luckily I got big laughs both times. You know, I never thought of her as white, or you know what I mean.
Have you ever had it where it turned on you?
Oh yeah, I have had a couple of people charge the stage.
Yeah, we had
the mic stand. Any comedian knows the mic stand. At the bottom, there's that big cast iron. At the bottom of the mic stand. I picked that up and I just stood there. I go, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm
ready.
I was performing in Myrtle Beach 2 weeks ago in Myrtle Beach, and this lady comes up to me after the show. I'm doing my meet and greet. I'm out there taking pictures and selling my merchandise. Everybody coming by, love the show, whatever. So this one lady walks up to me and go, that guy's going to be scarred for life. I'm like, what guy? The guy you had on stage, because I brought a guy up on stage for one of my routines. And he's a big fat white guy. I brought him up on stage. And I said, well, I didn't bring him up because of his weight, man. I brought him up because he had no hair. And I need a bald head guy on stage for that routine. You know, every show I find a bald head guy in my audience, I bring him up for this routine. And so she thought I brought him up to make fun of his weight. And I said, I didn't care if he was skinny as a straw. It wasn't about his weight, but she wasn't even with the guy. She didn't even know this person, but she was
trying to defend him.
You know, so he comes out like 3 minutes later, he comes walking out into the lobby, walks up to me, man, you're funny as shit. High five me, took a picture with him and his wife, brought my tea, brought my merchandise. I was like, this lady crazy as hell. So people are just too sensitive right now. I don't know how, comedians of yesterday Richard Pryor could not survive in today's world.
No.
Well, I think
Andrew Dice Clay
get away
could
with
not
it.
survive Andrew Dice Clay could not survive in today's audience.
No,
I mean,
he couldn't.
Don Rickles could not have a career today.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jerry
so much-
Seinfeld gave up comedy for colleges because he said he can't perform. They're too politically correct.
And who's more
Jerry Seinfeld
cleaner than Seinfeld?
Right.
If Seinfeld's paranoid about insulting somebody, no, we're out of control.
I had a white dude come up on stage one time and pull his pants down and hung his thing out.
Oh wow!
What?
Why?
He just wanted to. He just
thought it'd
wanted
be funny.
But he
It probably was. It was probably a funny display of manhood.
That's probably what that's about.
I forgot what, but somehow they got on to talk about penises and he wanted to show his, and he just came up on stage and whipped it out. I know it was kind of like it was kind of like a challenge because they got this black envy thing going on.
Yeah.
So he wanted to show me that
So you guys wanted to rub.
But you know what I mean, I guess in his little suburban community, he's got a big one, but where I'm from, I was like,
He's 6 or 10.
I'm sure you're killing, your little suburban, neighborhood.
That was amateur night, huh?
Yeah. You bring that shit to the hood.
That's funny.
He was very proud of it, But it's just crazy stuff that happens.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, this whole, I really don't think Chris meant any harm. And I think too, we got to be careful whenever you're dealing with women. I mean, like you'll probably go outside a barbershop and laugh at men all day, laugh at their haircut. Oh my God, look at that hair, right? But could you go outside a woman's beauty parlor and laugh at women's hairdos, right? It would hurt, right? People would frown on that more than if you did it to men.
Chris already did.
If you in a comedy setting, to me, there's very few things
Chris,
that are off
he
topic.
didn't make fun of women's hair. He just talked.
I made a joke about Pam's hair before we came on air, right?
Look, last week he called me Patty Duke.
You got to be more sensitive when you deal
And
Hey, I saw a comment from Elizabeth Graybill. She says, "Okay, so does anyone think Jada should have tried to intervene somehow in that situation?"
And maybe
No.
she did try,
She
but
got
we
what she
don't
It would have been
know.
worse. It would have been worse.
But
She
no,
wanted-
I
she
think
wanted
when
that.
he
Now
was
ego's going to come in place. Sorry, Pam.
when
Sorry.
he was about to get up, if I were his woman, I would have just, babe, don't go. Now he may have pulled away from her. We don't know because we didn't see that interaction. But I am hoping that she was trying to just hold him back, and he just was, he's going to do what he wanted to do.
Well, I want to talk
I
to
would
Lupita.
hate, huh?
I want to talk to Lupita because she was sitting right there.
Lupita saw everything, baby. She got receipts.
With her
you
wig
hear me?
on.
Oh yes.
Did she have a wig on?
She was
Did she?
Huh?
Did she? I thought she had an afro.
Oh no, she had a wig because it was this kind of asymmetric kind of sculpture type of
It's
thing.
unusual
she had
for her,
on.
isn't it?
Yeah, but it was natural looking, but it was
Yeah,
a sculpted type of thing.
it looked nice.
But yes, she knows because she got to see everything.
So do you guys agree with Magic Johnson? It wasn't a good look for black people. And why do we get
Stop putting
blamed
us-
for everything? Like
Yeah, don't.
why
no.
am I looking bad for Will Smith?
Yeah, I'm not a guinea pig. No.
Right.
No.
Well, I don't
And
know if
Chris
you
Rock
saw-
looked
It's
good.
bad,
Chris
it's
Rock
bad
did the
for
best.
human behavior. That's what it's bad for.
But
Right.
William Abdul
You
Jabbar
wanna-
said the same thing, and I just had to push back on that philosophy, and on that, I just think it's BS to feel that way, that this incident affects
Marks us all.
other African Americans,
Right.
sets us back or black people back or something. It's such bullshit, man.
I
Because
think
white people
that
do shit
because-
every day,
Thank you.
you know.
They
But I
wouldn't
think
embarrassed
the
about
part that-
Weinstein or Woody Allen marrying his stepdaughter. I'm just saying they didn't pull none of the movies, did they?
But
I think that the thing is until we stop having first this, first that, there's always this thing of we trying to live up to be better than and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's where that's coming from. When we become mainstream, when we become, fully integrated, whatever that is, maybe then it'll stop. But until then, people are looking for role models. They want to pull people in, and sometimes people don't need to be role models. And sometimes maybe he's a role model for when good people do something bad, and the redemption of it all.
The thing we gotta
there's a
acknowledge
lesson
and
to be
admit
learned.
is no matter what we do, we're gonna get the fire. So we might as well be ourselves and
That's it. We make mistakes, move on. Next. That's it. Because here's the thing. I can think of plenty of things and people who did very, very embarrassing things, including Charlie Sheen in Hollywood. And for them to say, oh, this is just the worst thing ever. Really? Is it? Because why do I remember them talking about Roman Polanski? I'm just saying. And I still ain't seen his movies pulled. I'm just saying. If we're talking about the worst, right? That's
right.
Microcosm.
Alec Baldwin criticized Will Smith and went like, Alec, you shot somebody.
Shoot somebody.
But so did Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I got my
He
receipt.
threw a glass at someone.
No, forget the receipt. And I'm not trying to be funny, but didn't his girlfriend get the prescription from him, which she OD'd on? I'm just saying that's what they allege.
Jim Carrey?
Yes, his girlfriend. Go back and look at it. So I'm like, wait, we need to pull receipts on this because you're talking about this is the worst.
I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, her name was Catherine. Wait, what's her name? Oh God.
Yeah, his
I
girlfriend.
don't think it was the worst thing that has ever been done, but it definitely is noteworthy.
Yeah, I
I
remember
can't
that.
say her name. I can't say her name. Something White was her name, but they alleged that he gave the family was like, you're the one that gave her the prescription. So you were about to get a murder charge. What's up?
Right. I think if we go full circle back to just us talking to us, we're human beings. We're trying to do better. We should be more sensitive, especially black women in their hair. Chris Rock should have known that black women in hair is a very touchy subject.
I'm just saying.
A whole documentary on it.
Okay, but let's not forget he wasn't attacking her because of her hair.
You're insisting upon that.
Yes, it was. She reminded him of G.I. Jane, so that's what he said. I mean, how many times?
Yeah, I think he was just joking too. I don't think he was attacking her at all. But
no, I don't see where the attack is. I mean, how many times have you been on stage and something pops in your head and you should I say this? I don't know. Should I say? Boom, you say it. You know what I mean? And it kills, or boom, it falls flat, or whatever. You know, and that's just the way comedy is, man. Like people make us out like we sit down, we write tonight. Oh man, I'm gonna write some jokes, man. I'm gonna hurt some feelings. You know what I mean? You know,
okay, how about this?
That is not the way comedian brain works.
Well, yeah, but sometimes
As
people
harsh as it may seem. Remember when Dice Clay was people were protesting Dice Clay because he was misogynistic, and I've had women come up to me after a show and said, do you hate women? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, and Kevin, and you guys know it. Sometimes you write one joke and then think of something else funny, and then something else funny. So boom, 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 you got like 10 to 15 minutes on one topic. And it just so happened I had 10 to 15 minutes on women. You know what I mean? And it wasn't about women. It was just the shit just keep coming and it just keep being funny. So I just kept going with it. But this woman that was at my show said, you talk a lot about women and you have a problem with women. It seems like you hate women. Like, no, I just had a bunch of funny stuff. And, and that's it. That's the extent of it.
But, I was wondering, like, they were saying that Chris Rock comes after us all the time. And
yes.
I don't follow him closely, but I've seen quite a few of his shows. And I honestly didn't.
A lot of people said that after he did that special way he talked about niggas, like the worst thing is a nigga, and he went off on that whole bit he did about if you got money in your house, put it in your books because niggas don't read.
Yep.
He did.
Well, I was talking about women. They were saying that he comes after women.
Oh, women. Okay.
One thing that the people on the right were using to combat police brutality to drive me crazy too, because a lot of white people were putting this on their Facebook page to say, well, look what Chris Rock said. Remember the skit Chris did about if you get pulled over by a cop, don't do this and you won't get your ass beat. Remember that?
Right. Yeah.
You won't get your ass beat if you. So a lot of white people who, were saying, well, look what Chris Rock said about, because we like, well, George Floyd didn't deserve to be killed. Well, look what Chris Rock said. Right. Well, which guy didn't deserve to be shot? But look what Chris Rock said. We just comply. Chris Rock said you should comply and you wouldn't get killed. So Chris Rock had a whole thing on how not to get your ass beat by police. If you haven't seen it, Google it and watch it on YouTube tonight. How not to get your ass beat by police by Chris Rock. Yes. So, but white people were using that skit as them saying, well, if y'all follow Chris Rock's rule, you wouldn't get shot and killed. So
people use sound bites to
they use it for their own, gain. Like Pam, we hear people all the time, racist people or people on the right. I always say people on the right that use Dr. King quotes when they need it, for
the few benefit that they allow us to hear about.
Yeah, when
not the real King.
Maybe it's me, but I hate to be the one saying this, but are we putting too much value in what a comedian says? Like a comedian's, they're joking, they're trying to make people laugh. Yes, they're very smart, intelligent, and they have a lot of insight. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting people to laugh.
Okay, right. So okay, here's a scenario. My daughter and I were at an open mic one night, and the guy was it was about 30 comics in New York City. About 30 comics. We were the only two brown faces in there, let's say, and actually there was two other women, I think. So I was going next, thank God. And the comic was before us. He looked like he came out of the backwoods somewhere, but he had really long hair, like really the way he looked like out of Deliverance, let's just say. And so he was trying to be casual about his joke, and he looked over and saw my daughter. Now you all know my daughter's like 6'2", and she has that face like. Okay, so he looks over and he says they were talking about names, and so he was talking about Alaquisha and all the funny sounding names to them, right? And so he looks over and he goes, "Oh, is that all right if I talk about that?" And so she was like, she gives that look and she says, "Oh, you can always talk about anything you want to. Just the question is, do you want the consequences of whatever you say? So you can say whatever you like." So he was like, he went there. He went in on all the names, the Naquisha, the Naqueta, whatever names there are. He went on, and he was basically insinuating that Black people have messed up names. So it was perfect when I got to go up. But the problem, I'm like, was he really trying to go in for me? So I said, let me take it from a different point of view. Instead of taking it personal, let me just use it as somebody like Kim DeShields would say, use it as my weapon, to fire back at him. So luckily for me, when they introduced Tanya Cooper, he was like, oh, and I was like, ooh, you wasn't expecting an afro, were you? So it worked out in my favor, but that was a case where he was literally going for me. Now, was he really going just for the laughs? Oh, yeah, I guess he was. Technically, Carl, you might be right. Because he was. He didn't care at what expense, including hurting me, that he would get a laugh.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just reading Chris Rock's comment here. Chris Rock performed at the
Wilbur Theater in Boston.
Wilbur Theater, yeah, and he got a stand ovation. Of course, he don't get that anyway. But he was saying that he said to the crowd, "I'm still processing what happened. So if y'all came here, to hear me talk about that, I have nothing to say about it. But I do have jokes." And he went on with his set.
Oh, good for him. Good for
Yeah,
him.
so he didn't even.
Well, I'll be seeing him in July, so maybe by then he would have processed, and he'll have some stuff to say.
He was very classy.
And I bought
Chris
the
Rock,
tickets
you can't
before
come see
this
my
happened,
ass.
so.
Okay, I got it.
Huh?
Which debunks the
Can't
people
make
who
my
say that.
show, but you can go see Chris Rock.
You told me not to come. You told me to wait till April when you came to the Stress Factory. You still haven't given me the date.
Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm not booked there yet. But I will let you know when I'm there. I got you.
Well, he definitely showed his class. I'll tell you that. I mean, because that is a whole nother level of restraint to take a slap and then make a good joke comeback. The joke, that's why everyone thought it was staged, because the comeback, he said, "Oh, this has been the best awards ever." It's like, wait a minute, he's not mad. Wait, he's not.
His ticket sales skyrocketed, so maybe I should get Chris Rock to smack the shit out of me.
We can arrange that, Kevin. Just let him see me out after the show.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap up.
Folks. Yeah. I mean,
no Democrats.
No. I mean, we already like an hour and a half, and
yeah.
So we can jump on that next week. I still have some points to prove.
Yeah. We were gonna also talk about what has the Democrats done for Black people. I could not find any videos with anyone saying anything that Democrats. Damn it, I tried. I had lined up like literally like 10 videos, and everybody's saying the Democrats have done nothing for Black people.
I have a question for you, Carl. Could you find any videos of what Republicans done for Black people?
Actually, this is what they were saying. They were talking about back in the, I wasn't here, but they helped with slavery.
A lot of jobs.
They were talking about that Black Republicans helped with slavery back in the day, and and it was a Democrat.
But that's a label. Democrat and Republican is a label that got switched in the 60s or somewhere around
the whole
there.
strong Thurman thing. Yes,
right. Because that's why they say Lincoln was a Republican. Yes, but you got to look at the ideology of what each of them held to, and that's where you can.
Well, I would break that down when we have this show about the whole Dixiecrat thing and how that party of the Democratic Dixiecrats actually became the Republican Party of Nixon and Reagan and what we see today.
Right.
So,
and that Lincoln argument is lame, because Lincoln also said if the Black man is not equal to the white man, and if we're going to assign a hierarchy, I would definitely put the white man above.
Well, Lincoln didn't care about Black people. We know that. I mean, anybody who thinks Lincoln
just needed to win the war. Lincoln looked like one of them passing Black folk. I'm just saying.
Lincoln was not for Black people.
Yeah.
He they needed bodies to win that war.
Right.
And
somebody said MLK was Republican.
He probably was.
Again, around that time, you got to look at the ideology and not the name.
Yep, exactly. Now we look at the name, but it means nothing.
Jafaya 3. I hope I'm saying the name right. Japhya. Jafaya 3 says MLK was Republican.
And that's the argument, though. That the argument is, would he be a Republican with today? Would he side with today's Republican Party?
No, that's what my argument was. But that's a different kind of Republican. That's a different kind of Democrat.
Yeah, everybody go. I heard the same thing with arguing with Trump supporters 4 years ago. Well, Dr. King. Well, you think Dr. King will support Donald Trump's philosophy? or any of these, or Josh Hawley or Marion Taylor Greene, all these racist ass Republicans out here. Do you actually think Dr. King would side with them today if he was alive and able? I mean, so yeah, he was a Republican 55 years ago before.
No, he wasn't. He didn't affiliate with either party. If you know.
All right,
well, he voted for somebody.
Well, he said that's what he said. Look it up. He didn't.
Well, I can dig it, but he still had to vote. So did he vote Republican? Well, they say whatever he was, I'm sure he voted for Kennedy. And if he'd have lived, he probably would have, voted for a Democratic president over. I don't think he would have voted for Reagan.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. If you can see people starting to go to bed, I can watch as everybody starts to go to bed. We want to thank everyone for watching tonight's show. We really appreciate it. Information Man, thanks for checking in, brother. Really appreciate you. And hopefully next week when we do the show, what has Democrats done for Black people, you can come on, and so Kevin can show you
receipts
exactly what the Democrats has done for us. It's all it's there. You just can't see it. Kevin will point it out. All the things that the Democrats have done for us.
I think everybody on this panel votes, right?
I think we need a scorecard.
Is something that the Democrats fought for our voting rights. The Republicans, since I know we got to wrap it up. The Republicans have passed over 300 bills, to stop Black people from voting because they're still pissed about Trump losing the election. So yeah, we can go down that rabbit hole next week. I got it.
You got the receipt.
Any thoughts on tonight's show you want to share, or any information, anything you learned tonight?
As far as the topic is concerned, I will say it is a good example of good people
behaving badly,
and as grown folk, I know that we slip up sometimes, but it's not how you fall, it's how you get back up.
Okay, Des.
Thank you all for having me. Appreciate it. Still love you guys. And this was a great subject, a great topic, and I appreciate all the feedback. I learned something, which is really good. I'm always happy when that happens. And I just want to say, we do. I'm glad to be part of this group and that we're able to, Black people in general, we're going to be lifting up, and this is part of the process.
Your name, your picture's still on the poster, so that's good.
Right. Yay.
Kevin.
Will Smith has a net worth of $150 million. I mean, I'm not Will Smith. Chris Rock has a net worth of $150 million, and Will Smith is worth $400 million. So both of these cats are going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And their
Rock
children
sold out 2 shows tonight in Boston.
Yeah.
Will Smith will do more movies.
Somebody said that Will Smith got his first and last Oscar.
Not.
I doubt that, but he's
They'll
also the
suspend
first
him.
rapper.
They should have been gave him that.
He's the
What
first
they'll do is
rapper
they'll
to get a Grammy too, by the way. Out of all the he's the first rap artist to get a Grammy.
They'll probably suspend him from the board, so he won't be able to cast votes on the next 3.
He said he's not leaving.
He's not leaving where?
He said he's unapologetic about what happened.
Nope, I don't blame him.
Yeah. So I mean,
Is he apologetic or not? I don't get it.
You don't need to apologize. It's already done.
He'll be fine. Will Smith
I'm sure they worked it out.
They'll do a Bad Boys 5.
They're gonna do a movie together. Watch, because I'm gonna try to write
it.
one. They're gonna do a movie together.
Those 2 cats, man, have had amazing careers. They will continue to have amazing careers. Will Smith has been a role model 99% of his adult life, and he made a mistake, and I don't think we should define him or cancel him over one mistake that he made, because he's been, mostly
information man says to you, not what they did for us in the past. He wants to know what they've done for us now. Like,
all right, we'll talk about that next week, brother. Thank you.
We definitely have you on Information Man for
sure. Fresh receipts, nothing dated, nothing with 1950, nothing.
Yeah, no, 1950s. 1950s. They were hanging us.
Yeah.
So I can't
Tanya, any parting words or anything?
Yes.
You
know,
learned?
we know what Democrats were doing in the 1950s.
Yeah. First, Jafia, you said it right. He can survive without another Oscar, but that's another story. And it's about time they gave him that one because if we bring back the receipts for him, it goes way back. But I want to say congratulations to Samuel Jackson for getting an Oscar. Woo, woo, woo. That's way overdue, right? So nobody saw that.
The Lifetime Achievement.
Yeah, Denzel gave him the award. So that was nice. We missed that.
What did he get an Oscar for? I'm sorry.
It was what was
Lifetime
it?
Achievement.
Lifetime Achievement.
Oh, Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, they didn't
that
hear that
made
one
up, or is
anyway.
other people gotten
that
that
part of the
before?
television broadcast? Believe it or not, they didn't even Oscars didn't even have that as part of the television broadcast, right? From what I understand. So that wasn't even part of the broadcast. That Lifetime Achievement, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
by the way,
it was all symbolic. But
that anti-lynching bill was passed by the Democrats
yesterday.
this week.
Of course, they need
Yesterday.
something on their belt right now if they want to get a vote. But I know.
Well, it was done. No matter why it was done, it was done.
Yeah, my dog can go in and go be elected. I'll vote for him first at this point. That's how serious I am about them. They're not getting.
Read the anti-lynching bill so you understand what it does. Just in case there are some hate crimes done to Black people right now, the anti-lynching bill is important. So
yeah, they're kind of late. I'm still waiting for that reparations that they're
still pass. Well,
yeah.
If it does happen, it ain't gonna happen on Republican watch.
At this point, I give up on it even happening. But I'm just saying they're not getting my vote this easy, and I'm making sure of that. So, because
if Trump would have done something for Black people,
we gotta wrap this up.
Sorry, I know we're just going on and on. Sorry. Thank you, John.
Hey, Des, good seeing you, my brother. Love you, man.
Yes,
Des. See you later.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Tanya. You done?
Hey, Des, I need your help.
No, Des was saying something. That's all. Thank you.
No, forget it. I'll text it to you guys.
Yes,
It's
thank
for
you.
next week.
I want my 40 acres and mules, Sonia. That's right. I'm with you.
All right, want to thank everyone again for checking out our show. Please like, share. If you're checking us out on YouTube, like and share and hit the subscription button so you would know when we go live. And with that out of the way, once again, thank you for checking us out. And please tell the people you love them. They're not psychic. It's really nice to hear when someone says they love you, if they love you. Unless you're naked. Love you when you're naked. Don't believe the hype.
I got that Jada Smith haircut.
And one other thing about her, about Jada Pinkett. You picked the right one, girl. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So again, thanks to everyone. We really appreciate you guys coming, checking us out every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And Jafia 3, I hope you come back, brother, or sister, whoever you are. I can't tell your gender, and you know how that goes these days. If you mess up someone's gender, that's it. You can
get smacked.
Information man, thank you so much. TW from YouTube, Emma Bird, thank you. Felix, we see you. Red Squid X, funny, say some funny stuff. Sonia Cotton, you might want to think about changing that last name. Norma Staley, thank you.
Cousin Russell.
Pamela Jones, did I miss anyone? I'm not gonna get everyone, but we appreciate everyone that's chimed in. That's Gray Bill, thank you so much. Everyone that chimes in every Wednesday, we truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Right. Good night.
All right. Good night, folks.
Good night, folks.